SML has no shortage of villains. Characters who rob people, hurt children, and sometimes even worse. But not all villains are created equal, so that's why today we're going to be ranking them across 7 different levels of evil, from level 1 being relatively tame, all the way to level 7 being a truly horrific human being, starting all the way down at level 1 with Bully. Bully is an interesting situation, as from an objectively evil sense, he's not that terrible of a person for the most part. In videos like Jeffy Gets Bullied, he isn't the most evil person by far. He only calls Jeffy a few names, and during the course of the episode, he even apologizes for what he does to Jeffy, which in a way is a better reaction than how most other people on this list would react. He's also mentioned to have a rough home life, with his parents abandoning him, causing him to take his anger out on other kids, giving a slight understanding of the reason why he acts the way he does. Even with his interactions with other characters than Jeffy, his villainy doesn't really extend to anything else except for getting into more fights with people and stealing people's girls. He's been a minor bully for Cody in videos like SML movie Cody's Big Move. He stole Penelope from Junior and gets into the occasional fight with him as well.
What's this trash bag and your girlfriend have in common? I've only had sex with one of them, your girlfriend.
What? Oh, that's it!
Oh, call an ambulance! Oh!
Even despite these rough interactions though, he still hangs around with them doing stupid things, like boofing chips from a gas station and being the bodyguard of a club for them. You could honestly even make the case that his dad, that we see in videos like Bowser Jr. Learns Karate and Bowser Jr.'s Bike, is more of a villain, as he has no problem beating up Bowser or Brooklyn Guy whenever his son is in trouble. Bully is definitely a troublemaker and a menace, but at least he does some good things throughout his time, making him an easy baseline as a level 1 villain. But things are only gonna get worse from here, as we move on to level 2, and the character I put here is Screwball. Screwball has been appearing in SML for years at this point, and literally everything he does on screen is quite strange to say the least. Screwball's defining character trait is that he is a gross clown that's a criminal in all sorts of areas, such as robbing sandwich shops and claiming to do illegal drugs like meth on a frequent basis. The worst thing he does by far, however, is being a child predator, and we have plenty of offenses to look at over the years. We see him do a lot of creepy things, like him having a white van that he draws free candy on, or making Junior pull a snake balloon from a certain area of his body, and getting way too overexcited whenever Junior does this, making some terrible noises along with it.
Why don't you go ahead and give it a tug, kid?
Okay,
Screwball's worst offense against children, though, has to be whenever he helped Nancy to kidnap Jeffy. Not just once, but twice. Both times were simply just trying to get money from Jeffy's inheritance. These 2 times led to several counts of property damage and kidnapping charges whenever he hijacked the school bus from Jackie Chu. It eventually blows up in his face, though, considering the fact that Nancy is taken out by Brooklyn Guy, and they get no money from anything. He was also mentioned to be in the Winkle files as well, but is anyone really surprised about that? Just like Bully though, he certainly has his fair share of stupid crimes, keeping him a little lower on the list. Like him running from the cops after stealing candy bars, and becoming the candy bar bandit. Or whenever he participates in necrophilia, whenever he decided to date Joseph's dead mom as a skeleton in his house. He even ran a clown school, where he claims to teach people how to be a clown at birthday parties. But it really just turns out to be a scam where he takes the money and teaches Jeffy how to throw pies that have piss in them. So yeah, he's an idiot. But things are really gonna start ramping up now that we're moving on to level 3. And things are getting serious now, because we have CJ, and he can only be described as a truly terrible person. In SML movie Jeffy's 20th birthday, we see that Jeffy is reminiscing on his past life with his mother Nancy, and his sister Phoebe at their old house. And he eventually remembers CJ coming over to his house one night. CJ was Nancy's drug dealer, and whenever Nancy didn't have enough money to pay for which happened a lot, CJ would always offer to get paid another way, which involved him doing some unspeakable things with Phoebe that we can't go into detail here. Jeffy always tried to fight back against this, but was always stopped by Nancy, leading to Jeffy feeling completely hopeless throughout all the years. CJ was never able to be stopped either, as the one time Jeffy was able to fight back against CJ, giving him an epic beatdown after strangling him, he ended up being saved by Mr. Winkle, who turned out to be a cop at the time, leading Jeffy to be threatened to never do it again. Even after all these years, and when Jeffy has grown up to be an adult, CJ has never stopped doing what he was doing, preying on helpless children at the back of Jeffy's old house. To celebrate his 20th birthday, he decided that he's truly had enough, and decided to teach CJ a lesson. CJ was strapped down by Jeffy to his monster truck, and absolutely rammed through the old house, killing him instantly. Seeing Jeffy do this was awesome, as it's what CJ deserved, after doing a bunch of terrible things to several children throughout the years. So let's hope and pray we never see CJ again after what happened. Even though CJ is pretty awful, he's nothing compared to the straight up final boss of child preds in SML. Our level 4 villain, Mr. Winkle. Mr. Winkle is one of the most recurring villains on this list by far, making his first appearance in SML movie Bowser Jr.'s First Grade Part 2, as the new teacher that replaced Mr. Wilfred after Joseph almost killed him. Whenever Mr. Winkle comes into the classroom, it's apparent very quickly that there's something off about him. He calls all the kids hot, and even straight up molests my dude Cody in the bathroom, completely traumatizing him. The terror in the classroom thankfully comes to an end whenever Mr. Winkle gets a little too comfortable taking pictures of the kids on his personal cell phone for picture day, and gets himself arrested by Mr. Goodman.
Yeah, no, man, for that you're coming with me, so hand over that.
Oh, yeah, we don't have to do that.
Yes, we do.
I just like to send some things to some friends real quick. Email.
Mr. Winkle tries to make a comeback at the end of the series, but he ends up getting arrested again after he impersonated Jackie Chu, leading him to not be seen in SML for a while, with the exception of a few quick appearances every now and then. We see later in SML movie Five Nights at Freddy's 3 that Mr. Winkle has been doing the same things with kids for years, even straight up creating the Freddy Fazbear's Pizza restaurant and dressing up in a Springtrap costume to get close to the kids. This attempt to get close actually ends up backfiring on him, as he gets overwhelmed and decides the only way out is to just murder all of the children and stuff their bodies in the animatronics, leading to the series happening in the first place. He even keeps this purple shirt outfit whenever he comes back for the second summer school series, disguising himself again, where he leaves the series kidnapping Bully's sister Annabelle. His most recent crime comes in SML movie The Winkle Files, where it's discovered that he has his own private island where he conspires with people to do the same terrible things that he does, including people like Donald Trump, Stephen Hawking, Screwball, and his brother CJ, obviously. We even get faked out in this episode to think that he kills himself in prison, but it turns out that he's still alive on the island with Stephen Hawking, and is still out there continuing to do all of those evil things. Mr. Winkle is pretty bad, but he's still slightly less evil than Jeffy's dad, Jock Pierre Francois. Jock actually had pretty humble beginnings, first appearing in SML movie Bowser Jr.'s Painting. In this video, we see that he's a painter that's worth millions of dollars for painting ridiculous things, like the sneeze. The dominance he has, however, gets challenged later in the video whenever Jr. creates a painting called Oops, when he lets the canvas fall onto the paint, leading to an art duel between him and Jr. The duel is super close, but Jock decides to go out with his last resort, which involves him literally cutting his own ear off and gluing it to the painting, causing Jr. to rightfully give up trying. The true bombshell of Jock's relation to the rest of the crew comes in SML movie Jeffy's Parents, where we discover that he's Jeffy's real father, and that he had passed away right as the video started. This causes Nancy, his mother, to try to come back and claim the fortune, but thankfully she failed and went to prison. Throughout the years, as Jeffy grew older, we were expected to see Jeffy be able to claim the money on his 18th birthday, but we got a huge surprise in SML movie Jeffy's 18th birthday, whenever we discovered that Jock had actually been alive the whole time, and made it pretty clear that Jeffy wouldn't get any of his money, nor have a relationship anytime in the future.
Well, what about your son? He was supposed to inherit your multi-million-dollar fortune.
Yes, the boy. Listen, son,
if you are watching this, look into the camera. Look at your papa. Fuck off.
Apart from a quick flashback in Jeffy's 20th birthday, we don't see Jock again until SML movie Jeffy's 21st birthday, where he absolutely does not hold back, showing his true colors. We see Jeffy, Marvin, Brooklyn Guy, and Chef Pee-Pee go to Las Vegas for Jeffy's birthday, where Jeffy just so happens to run into his dad in Vegas. Jock is trying to sell a painting with his balls on it that the buyer will only buy if his balls are completely unused, and realizes that Jeffy will blow his cover. He then decides that the only option is to find a way to murder Jeffy just so he can get paid. So him and his snail sidekick decide to steal Jeffy's car and fly it up to the air to drop and kill him. But thankfully, Jeffy survives. But Jock's stupidity and his greed leads to him, his sidekick, and the pilot all dying in a plane crash, where he hasn't been seen since. But speaking of Jeffy's parents, my dude can't catch a break with the bad parents, as the level 6 villain on our list is his mother, Nancy. Nancy is pretty evil and has shown her villainy throughout many videos, all evident by the amount of times that she's been mentioned on this list already. Her first appearance was in SML movie Jeffy's Parents, where she came to reclaim Jeffy seemingly out of the goodness of her heart. This all turned out to be fake and a trap, just to try to get the money that his dad left him supposedly when he passed away, which became very evident when she left the house and went right back to abusing Jeffy. We even learnt in this video that she just left Jeffy at the old apartment complex, letting him fend for himself and try to find someone to help him. Thankfully, she wasn't able to get away with this before getting arrested by Brooklyn Guy, being locked away in prison for quite a few years.
Why would you run away from your mother? Why? You know you're my little lottery ticket, Jeffy. You're gonna make me millions of dollars. Why would you run away from mommy like that? I told you to run away.
What's going on here?
This setback certainly didn't stop her plans, as she attempted to kidnap Jeffy on his birthday literally 3 years in a row. But crap really hit the fan in SML movie Jeffy's 18th birthday. In this video, she escapes prison and gets Screwball's help to kidnap Jeffy, obviously to try to get the money. They think they kidnap Jeffy, but it just turns out to be Marvin in a Jeffy costume instead. This leads them to do a trade for Jeffy, and then a high-speed chase ensues, where Jeffy is able to escape the van before they got away, and before the van blows up, seemingly killing Nancy. She was presumed to be dead until next year on Jeffy's 19th birthday, where she tried again to kidnap Jeffy for money, this time going even bigger, kidnapping a whole group of kids on a school bus instead. She was eventually stopped by Brooklyn Guy, who wasted no time and unloaded an entire clip into her face, finally killing her once and for all. Throughout the future years of Jeffy's birthday during flashbacks, we see how horrendously she treated Jeffy and Phoebe, neglecting to feed them, giving them cigarette burns, and even letting CJ do horrible things to Phoebe like we mentioned earlier in the video. We even see in SML movie Jeffy's Sister Returns that her negligence led to the death of Phoebe, as she took her helmet for an ashtray, causing her to be less protected whenever she was hit by a car. Nancy is definitely at one of the top levels of this list, but she certainly has nothing on the biggest villain in SML. Coming in at level 7, we have Does Bad Things Guy. Does Bad Things Guy is without a question the most evil character in the SML universe, with the things he's done being some of the most cruel and sick things that you could imagine. Back in SML movie The New House, we see that the crew is looking to buy a new house after they got kicked out of the apartment, and Brooklyn Guy found a new house for them, but with a pretty strange catch. It turns out 26 people were murdered at this house, bringing the price way down. This house is awesome except for one room that Brooklyn Guy told them to never go into for any circumstances. It wasn't until a few months later of living in the house in SML movie The Secret Door that Jeffy eventually went in there on accident, leading them to discover dozens of massacred bodies hung up in terrible ways. Obviously, after seeing this, they would call the police for help. When they call the police though, Brooklyn Guy finds out that they opened the door, ties them all up, and at the end of the video, it gets revealed that it actually isn't Brooklyn Guy, and instead, it's his brother Does Bad Things Guy, and that he's the one who murdered everyone in the room. For almost 10 years, we haven't heard anything about Does Bad Things Guy at all, up until SML movie The Secret Door 2, where Does Bad Things Guy is residing in hell until he tricks Craig to get out of hell, going back to Earth. He goes back to the house and immediately gets up to the same things, tricking everyone into thinking that he's Brooklyn Guy, Guy and doing some crazy things again, like cutting off Jeffy's leg and burning Rose alive twice. Brooklyn Guy comes in to save the day, but it turns out since they're identical twins and dressed like each other, Marvin doesn't know which one to shoot. Marvin takes a shot and seemingly kills Does Bad Things Guy, but does he? As of recently, every single time that Brooklyn Guy has appeared in a video, he's been acting incredibly strange, forgetting things that he should know, and overall just being off. This has caused many fans to watch and try to speculate on whether Brooklyn Guy is still alive, or if it's Does Bad Things Guy taking his place, and we seemingly have no answer to it yet, leaving everyone to speculate until Logan finally gives us an answer.
Come on, Marvin, I'm messing with you. Give you a nugget, you little fucker.
Well, I just want to make sure I made the right decision.
Well, of course you did. Why would I help everybody after trying
Bro, is he Brooklyn Guy or not, bro? I'm still worried.
to kill you guys? That doesn't make any sense.
Subscribe if you think that Brooklyn Guy is dead, and let me know what you guys think is gonna happen in The Secret Door 3. And if you're still here, click the video on screen. I'm sure you'll love it.